Well, we're going to give you guys a few minutes to join us here for our Facebook Live. Now, this will be a longer Facebook Live session than the earlier one. We're going to talk about the evening data. Then I'm going to take a few minutes to answer some questions. It's 9:30, so I don't have a lot of time, so I'll do the best that I can here. And then I'll be looking for some videos I'll put out later on tonight on YouTube, so we'll try to get to it. I meant to get on this a little bit earlier, but I've just been kind of busy, as you can imagine. So, all right, so a couple things here first. Number one, everything is still on schedule the way we've been talking about. Another round of sleet in the morning, could see some more thunderstorms. The road has been was pretty treacherous early on, but the precipitation that we had this morning was so light that we did get some melting, even though the temperatures were running in the low to mid 20s all day. It did melt some, so that melted off pretty quickly. And now we're dealing with patches of black ice out there. It's not too bad, but if you're traveling, just watch for those patches of black ice. And then again, tomorrow morning, we'll probably run into a situation where we get more in the way of sleet again. And it looks like more of the area should get it tomorrow. It should be a larger area. Again, it doesn't look particularly heavy, but when the sleet does come through, it'll come down pretty hard at times. But it doesn't look particularly heavy. If you hear a buzzing in the background, that's just the fan on my computer. This is an older computer that I'm using for right now, and it just makes a lot of buzzing noises. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on right now. Here is the radar. We'll start by looking at that. Yes, Vernon will get in on the act this time. So if we look at our radar out of Wichita Falls, I have noticed that the ceiling outside, the bottom of the layer of the clouds is known as the ceiling, is beginning to lower some. So that tells me that we could see some freezing drizzle try to develop here pretty soon. If we look at the radar side out of Abilene, earlier it was trying to show some of that develop down that way, and you can see some of it there, the really light pink. That represents very, very fine water droplets, maybe in the form of some light, very light drizzle or freezing drizzle. And I do expect this area to expand some later on tonight. You can see it down towards San Angelo. We can look into the Dallas area. It looks like there might be some sleet showers still ongoing on the east side of Dallas, with some areas of freezing drizzle over the Metroplex itself. The biggest icing that we're seeing tonight, though, has been up closer to the Little Rock area, up into Arkansas. Been pretty big icing going on up that way tonight. And these areas in Arkansas, they're notorious for seeing these big ice storms. And it looks like that could be the situation tonight for Memphis and the Little Rock, getting hammered with some pretty good ice. Now, later on tonight, I do expect another area of increasing radar returns, increasing moisture. We'll see an area of freezing drizzle redevelop after midnight tonight in the early morning hours, and then we'll see these little scattered sleet showers also develop, and maybe even some rumbles of thunder mixed in with that from time to time. So that's what's going on the radar. Not a whole lot right now, but that will change as we head towards tomorrow morning. If we look, though, let's look at some weather data now. We'll talk about tomorrow morning first, and then we'll kind of go from there. This is what we call the 3K NAM computer model run. I don't usually like this model too much, but it appears to be handling the situation okay. And you can see that pink area increasing after midnight in the morning. That's going to be areas of freezing drizzle and then heavier pockets of sleet moving northward into Oklahoma. Then that's between about 6 and 9 a.m. And then it kind of pushes into central Oklahoma beyond that, which is some leftover pockets of light freezing drizzle or sleet tapering off by the afternoon. And then there again, you've got the freezing rain across the eastern parts of Texas down into perhaps hill country down that way tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, with more ice over in Arkansas and northwest Mississippi. And then let's go into Wednesday. That's what we're looking at tomorrow. But as we head into Wednesday, you know, the thought process behind Wednesday has been, what will temperatures look like? It's been looking like we'd see a more steady area of precipitation move in. You know, a lot of our computer models, which I suspected early on, were warming us up too fast. Now they've trended colder the way they should have. And now Wednesday is looking like we could see an ice storm over in our area. We'll have to kind of wait and see how it all comes about. But Here we are into Wednesday, and this is just one model run. Look at that large area of sleet and freezing rain overspreading northwest Texas into Thursday night before we finally see temperatures go above freezing on Thursday. But this is the kind of precipitation here, steady sleet and steady heavier freezing rain that can present problems, because that's going to accumulate on tree branches and on power lines, and that could present some issues. Again, that is from the 3K NAM model. We can switch sources here and also look at the, there we go. For whatever reason, we dropped out there for a second there. This is the HER model. The one that I like is the HER model. Here we are in the morning. It too shows that sleet and freezing drizzle pushing on through. And then again, by tomorrow night and into Wednesday, there comes your ice storm there. Look at that large. That's a large. Matter of fact, that's probably the most widespread that I've seen of freezing rain and sleet, and that could be prolonged there. And if that indeed does happen, that's going to give us an opportunity to see a lot of accumulation of ice. I take these model forecasts with a grain of salt. The HER model only gives us about 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of ice because it has some sleet mixed in there too. But it does show pockets of heavier freezing rain down towards central Texas and into the southeastern parts of the state too. It just depends on if we see sleet versus freezing rain. Remember, sleet is what we would rather see, because sleet doesn't cause power outages. It's only a travel issue. But freezing rain can cause power outages. But the high-resolution NAM model shows considerably more, I believe, over us. It shows up to about 4/10 of an inch of ice accumulation. Again, you take this with a grain of salt. These numbers are usually overdone. Now, the European computer model I'm going to show here, this does not have the it does not have the precip types on there or whatnot, but it does show overall accumulation of precip. There it is Wednesday. It takes us up to about a 1/2 inch. So, I mean, if that's liquid equivalent, you throw down the temperatures, you make that freezing rain, you could argue and say that's about a 1/2 inch of ice accumulation. But, you know, the European model has done a very good job with this from the get-go. So, you know, in my opinion, it's looking increasingly likely that we're going to see an ice storm on Wednesday, into Wednesday night. Now, will it be a crippling ice storm? It remains to be seen. But if we do wind up getting ice amounts, freezing rain amounts, 1/2 inch, that would be a crippling ice storm. That would create power outages, and that would shut the area down probably through the end of the week. So, you know, I probably will not be forecasting a 1/2 inch of ice, but I could see a scenario where, you know, I did forecast at least 1/4 of an inch. So, all right, so let's take the time now to answer some questions here for you guys. I don't know why I keep on going in and out there with my camera. Who knows why? So, all right, so let's talk about it here. Let's see what questions we get here. Of course, you don't see a lot of the questions that I see on my side of the computer over here. Archer did get a little bit today, but not a lot, Lisa. Yeah, that thunder ice is pretty cool to see that. Thunderstorms it produce, and it produces a lot of ice, a lot of sleet when we get that. And yeah, Vernon's going to get some sleet in the morning, Nina, and then you get freezing rain and sleet on Wednesday. All right, so Ben says less of an ice storm for DFW. I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that. I think that you could see some pretty good icing there too. But it's actually looking like it might be worse just west of you, though. But we'll see. You've seen a lot of sleet. Sleet has actually been your friend today. It's helped you out. So we'll have to kind of wait and see what temperatures do down that way. But I wouldn't be surprised if you saw some pretty good freezing rain there still, Ben. Thanks, Ryan. And we'll see what happens down in Austin. You know, looks like you're going to get some ice tomorrow. And tomorrow, again, Rika, it comes in between about 6 a.m. and about 9 a.m. Then it will probably begin to shift out of here by midday, early afternoon, kind of like today. You'll get some in the morning. And looks like worse weather coming in on Wednesday, Joey and Graham. Ashley Wilt says, I have to be at work at 7 a.m. How will it be around that time? Could be some ice falling out of the sky at that time. Could be kind of slick, so be careful. Aspermont, Texas. Let me Google where Aspermont is. You'd think I would know. Let me see. Aspermont, Texas. All right, so someone wanted to know about Aspermont. That's down there around Abilene. And it looks to me like, and it looks like my camera has froze. There we go. I unfroze it. It gave me an error message. Now, it wasn't. It has nothing to do with my program. It was telling me my battery was low on my phone, which it is. I know that. Aspermont, yeah, it looks like some freezing drizzle and sleet there overnight tonight. But tomorrow night into Wednesday, Central Texas gets the ice. Michelle wants to know what will be the worst overnight ice. It's on YouTube. What will be the worst overnight ice on roads if you work and get off at 12 a.m.? Would definitely be probably tomorrow night and again on Wednesday night. I don't think that'll be an issue tonight, really. I think you'll be okay, but if you get out there, but just be careful. There's black ice out there tonight, so just be careful. And you guys are very welcome. Everybody who's thanking me there, you're very, very welcome. I do have to get ready for the newscast here in a few minutes, but I have fun doing these Facebook Lives. It gives me a really good chance to connect with you. I know that I'm working on a new platform here, and there's some little bugs here and there I'm still trying to work out. But when I do finally get it all figured out and worked out, this is going to be really cool, especially by the time we get into severe weather season. So. Would it be safe to drive to Aspermont around 7:30? Is that in the morning? I'd just be very careful if I were you, because that's going to be. It should be some pretty good ice. Should be some at least slick roads down there. And I did get your question about Como. I'm just trying to figure out where Como, Texas is. So it looks like Como is down there, over there around Sulphur Springs, and I would think that you probably have already gotten some stuff over that way, and you'll probably get some more. I would think tomorrow, and maybe tomorrow night. We'll see. But the worst may wind up being to your west tomorrow night, so we'll see. And we got the crew coming in, getting ready for the newscast now. So thanks, Ethan. I appreciate it, bud. Yeah, be safe. Be safe driving down there. Kind of like this. A lot of tomorrow will be similar to today. A lot of tomorrow will be similar to today. So, what we saw today will be almost identical to tomorrow, I think. Maybe a little more widespread. Places that didn't get it this morning will probably get it tomorrow. And then it's a Wednesday and a Wednesday night that could get pretty yucky around here, guys. And I will have more updates on that again tomorrow, but it could get pretty gross around here on Wednesday. Could be pretty significant. And you know me, I don't play up weather too often, but when I do see a need to push the button, I will. And I could push the button on Wednesday, so we'll see. Thank you so much, Will. Thursday night at 12 a.m. Be safe to drive home from work at 12 a.m. in Wichita Falls. I would think no, Michelle. I would think no. But maybe. We'll see. Yeah, I love doing, Joey, I love doing this. It's so much fun. I really like talking to you guys, too. It just really helps me really connect with my audience. We need to increase the followers, though. I mean, that's you can see my follower goal. That's actually not up to date. We're actually above 31,000, almost up to 31,800 now. So But my goal by the end of the month is 32,000, which I don't know that I'll hit. It's going to be, you would think it wouldn't be hard, but it is actually hard to hit. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's my thing. If I'm worried about it, you should too. That's been my saying for a long time. Most of the time I don't. Most of the time I don't worry about it. And what happens usually? Nothing happens. So a little bit worried about Wednesday, maybe. We'll see. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this thing up here. I've got to go get ready for the newscast. They're coming in, getting ready for the newscast here. So I do appreciate you guys following me here. Remember, subscribe to my Facebook page, subscribe to my YouTube page. Follow me on Facebook. I'm working on trying to expand on other platforms too. It's just so many of them out there. You wouldn't believe how many platforms are out there. So many of them. All right, everybody. I'll have another update in the morning as that sleet's coming on through, or at some point in the morning. I don't know if I may still be asleep. I don't know if I'll get it right as it's coming through, but I'll do one in the morning, and then again another one probably tomorrow afternoon, and definitely another one tomorrow night, talking about Wednesday's ice, especially if it continues to look like it's going to be pretty bad. So, all right, remember, tune in tonight. Coming up here in a few minutes on News Channel 6 at 10 o'clock, and also Garrett will be here in the morning. Remember that app. Download that app if you haven't yet. First Alert 6 weather app. Follow my pages, subscribe to my YouTube pages, and everything's going to be good.